Okay, so in today's update about Near Protocol, at first we are going to go on some lower time frames and do a quick short-term analysis in this region and see what is going on, and can we expect a move down from the current point, or maybe we are actually going to go higher first, and then we're going to go on some higher time frames and talk about the overall possibilities that could happen in here, and we're going to check out the scenario indicating in Near Protocol we may have like a 1 to 150% move on the upside in the next couple of months. So with all that said, hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're having a great time with your family and loved ones, and let's go on 15-minute time frame. There we go. If you remember, the last time that we talked about Near Protocol, we were right around these areas, and the idea was that maybe we are going to have a short-term consolidation pattern, but after it, I'm thinking that we're going to get another move up, and this actually happened. Now, in terms of Elliott Waves, like we talked about it in the previous update, this move on the upside, this initial one off of the lowest low, now seems like a weaker move relative to this one right in here, and that in Near Protocol exactly is why I am now a bit more optimistic than before. Why is that? Because if you want to say we're gonna have our final low around this area, let's say this is like a very important support, then okay, you need to be able to find off of the lowest low a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up. And in terms of the sub waves, you know the deal, 5 wave into wave 1, 3, and 5. Let's change the colors to maybe white. There we go. And for wave 2 and 4, we can have different possibilities. It's not really that important. Let's say maybe like a WXY into our wave 4. Excuse me. There we go. There it is. And yeah, sure. An ABC structure into wave 2. And this is the key. Pay attention. If you are having something like this, your wave 3 is going to be quite a strong and big move relative to your wave 1, which is exactly what is happening in your protocol at the moment. And that's why, again, I am a bit optimistic. Now, in the short term in here, I'm going to argue maybe this is like a wave 1, correction for wave 2, another move up into wave 3. This might be a correction for 4, and at the moment we are on our way to have yet another move on the upside into wave 5, and maybe on a higher degree this red 5 wave up is going to be into a wave 3, and then we want to see a corrective movement into wave 4, and followed by that another move up into wave 5. So for like very short term, we can continue this move on the upside just a little bit more. And that, my friends, is the extent of short-term analysis that we are going to do today. Now let's go on daily chart and see what is happening. So in Near Protocol, we talked about this scenario before. There's a good chance this initial move up off of the lowest low, about let's say like $8, is in form of an ABC zigzag and not an impulse, and that makes the picture a bit complicated. And I said it also, I believe, in the previous video that we talked about midterm structures, we may have in this area an ABCDE in form of a triangle, and let's just do this. Okay, oh, it's actually right in here. There we go. ABC down into A, we need to have basically ABC in every single leg, ABC up into B, ABC down into C, ABC up into D, and this is our final, excuse me, ABC on the downside into our E leg. Now, pay attention, this is a very important point. Usually, if you want to have a target for your D leg, or maybe your B and C, and even your E leg, you need to be able to find some sort of an area of supply and demand inside of these A, B, C zigzags. This is the key, and we are going to use this thing in our analysis. Now, let's actually go on a less busy chart so we can see the candles a bit better. There we go. Okay. So let's say this is ABC down into A. Where is it? Correction for wave B in form of an ABC zigzag. This might be, I guess, another ABC down into C, ABC up into D, another move down into our E leg. The main question is this: what can be a likely target for this wave D that we might be at the moment on our way to complete the subwaves for it? Well, we need to, I believe, get help from classic technical analysis, meaning supports and resistances. If you want to say this is overall a triangular structure, then okay, you can argue this is an ABC zigzag, something like this, and you need to find some area of supplies in order to have a decent target for your D-leg. And I think a beautiful area is right in here, excuse me, between 4.8, 4.9 to about $6.1, which basically means in the next couple of months in Near Protocol, from even the current point, we can expect like a 1 to 140, 50% move on the upside. I think that can actually happen. But this is not all the story. You see, the reason for why I like this area a bit better than the other important area of supplies is because at the same time, in weekly time frame, we are actually having right in here a very, very important gap, which was created as a result of this move down being a bit too strong and too fast. And if you are a regular viewer of the main channel, you know what I'm about to say. I believe gaps 95+% of the time are going to get filled. So from my point of view, makes sense to say if we are indeed on our way to have a triangle structure in Near Protocol in the midterm, then okay, one very, very likely target for this D-leg right in here can be reaching to about this area. And again, that provides just more and more confluence to my thesis, suggesting in Near we are actually kind of bullish in the midterm. So let's have our final conclusion and wrap up today's update. In Near Protocol, overall, I am actually bullish, and I do think either this is 5 wave up into a wave 1, correction for wave 2, and then big move on the upside into wave 3, 4, 5. Or maybe if you want to be a bit pessimistic, you can say maybe this is an ABC zigzag. And again, even according to this possibility, we are going to, in this cycle, get a decent bull run at least. Now, what's the target for our C-leg going to be? Overall, the bare minimum one, I think, is going to be taking the highest high in here about, let's say, like $21, but we can go a bit higher than that. Now, if this is an ABC zigzag, then okay, inside of our B leg, we are allowed to have an ABCDE in form of a triangle structure. And this is the key, as long as we are not getting a break of this important support between, let's say, 1.7 to about $2, we can consider that triangle, suggesting downsides in Near are indeed very, very limited. Now, get a break of this level, meaning we go under it, do a pullback and a continuation of the move down. Okay, at that point, I am going to change my tone. I'm gonna say probably from here, we're gonna get a continuation of the move down in order to, you know the deal, take the lowest slowdown here about, let's say like the 95 cents area. And then I'm gonna start looking for a very strong bounce back. But as long as we are staying above here, I think we can argue we are either very close to the end of our move down, or maybe our move down actually ended and this point is actually the low. Now, assuming that we are having overall a triangle and this is an ABC zigzag, I think right now we are on our way to have another ABC structure on the upside into our D-leg, and the likely target for it can be right in here around the $5.5 to $6 area, because not only this is an important area of supply, but also this is a gap in weekly time frame that was created as a result of this move down being way too strong. And since I believe gaps 95+% of the time are going to get filled, well, okay, for me, makes perfect sense to argue we are going to continue our move in the next 2 months in Near Protocol, and we can have from here even like a 1 to 150% move on the upside. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Near Protocol's price charts. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my second channel and also my main one, and follow me on Twitter. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time with your family and loved ones. Goodbye.